Hello, this is Filiberto Amati, and we're here today for another session with on the future of design. I'm here with Marco Bevolo, who's gonna introduce our esteemed guest of today. Welcome, Marco.
Thank you, Filiberto. Our guest today is Stefano Marzano. Stefano is being the Chief Design Officer and the CEO of Philips Design and Philips for 20 years, between 1991 and 2011. He has been the first Chief Design Officer of Electrolux, and he has collaborated with a number of outstanding design-driven brands from Swatch to Alessi through the years. He has been a founding dean of Think, the School for Creative Leadership in Amsterdam, and he has been part of the core group that contributed to the founding of Domus Academy in Milan in the 1980s and then in the 1990s. Well, welcome, Stefano. Welcome to our interview about the future of design and design thinking. And I would like to kick off the interview, first of all, if you would like to correct or to mention something more or something different. And otherwise, if you would like to kick it off with your vision of design thinking, what it is, what it will be in the future, in the next 5 to 10 years.
Very well. Well, first of all, let me say that design thinking was born after 2007, while at Philips Design, we created and implemented high design, which was intended to give to a very large community of designers a common way of working and a number of common tools in order to keep this force capable to have a language and have a methodology that would have been comparable all through the different locations around the world. With a vision and a mission, we set a mindset and a culture out of which the whole design community would have been working and using the methodology of high design that was based on the principle of being focused on people, so outside in, multidisciplinary, integrated into the business, and fundamentally research-based. So this has been practiced by Philips Design, as you well know, since early 90s. In 2007, I was a speaker at the conference of ICSID in San Francisco. And I met Tim Brown there, among others. And like to Tim Brown, to all the participants of the conference, we gave as a present the book Past Tense, Future Sense, which deeply was explaining about high design. Interestingly so, after 2007, design thinking was born in a nice book. I'm not saying that it has been taken from us, but it's a coincidence that also the professor of University of Savannah, United States, Anthony Profeta, keeps repeating all the time. Design thinking was born much earlier than 2007. However, we created this on the base also of the culture and experience of the Italian design of the 80s So no one is really the father, and no one is really the mother. But I think that it was a practice of methodology existing since a number of years, and it was not exploded like it has been exploded in after 2007. But we all know that in the US there is a power of media and publications that give and put under the attention. However, design.
One thing that I would like to bring upon in the flow is high design was born as a sort of reaction to high technology or
Yes.
high tech.
Yes.
And I would like to actually to ask Filiberto if he can ask you about the role of digitalization. So we bring this element in the flow as well. So
first of all, I would say with a comment that one of my favorite film authors, Aaron Sorkin, says that good writers always are inspired by other writers. Great writers steal from other writers. So that's probably the same type of evolution with design.
Yeah. No, it is interesting that nowadays design thinking is a kind of pop thing, and it is important to keep considering that the shift was intended to be from inside out, so what we can do with our technology, and we take it to the market to understand the people in their geographical reality, economical and cultural reality, and from there ask what can we do with our capabilities and competencies that actually can be relevant and meaningful. However, it was also indeed a reaction to the leadership of technology into companies that were actually developing their proposition on the basis of what we can do, what the technologies we have. And it is a methodology which is not a guarantee of doing a good design and a good proposition. Because we know that everything has always to do with the quality of the research that you do, the quality of the different disciplines that you have in an organization, the quality of the interaction among each others, the quality of the relationship with all the other actors that are relevant into an organization to make successful and meaningful propositions. And nowadays it is a bit turned like, you have a book and you read it and you can do it. And this, I think, is misleading a bit a lot of organizations that are training many people into the design thinking methodology, and with this certificate organization about design thinking, and in a sense is a popularization of design thinking, and it is, as it always happened with this type of realities, is lowering the quality, and it is creating a kind of commodity of a process. However, process and tools are relevant, and it is good anyway that something is available specifically to align all the members into an organization to be capable to have a common language to communicate and to understand each other. What is the future of design thinking or the design methodology? Well, I think is difficult to say. It is very much related also to the practitioners and their ability to think and further develop other parts of the methodology, other elements of the tools, depending of the areas that they are working in and the situations in which they are located, the companies which they are, the culture of the companies, the geographical locations in which they are, and so on. Personally, I see the need of a transformation in design for several reasons. The first reason is that there is an area of emerging technologies that do require design to get much closer to science. And I'm referring to whatever has to do with biotechnologies, genomes, and whatever actually does represent an area of technologies that are still not very known to the design world, and that probably will not touch at short-term all design. So I think also that design needs to be selectively evaluated, because there are still a lot of activities that are very much related in design to well-known technologies and methodologies. So who is still designing furnitures and so on is by far away from the one that actually are designing new biofuture and the one that are designing very complex systems, the one that are dealing with artificial intelligence, metaware, and so on. So if we look at the most advanced area of design and the one of the biofuture, we certainly need to make sure that design and science get much more close to each other and much more capable to talk a common language. In a sense, is requiring to design to elevate the comprehension of technology and science, and to the scientists to develop a more comprehension of humanistic and design culture. We are in a situation where we start really, I mean, in principle, some people are thinking that the anthropocentric view of the world is in a sense or start to get a bit obsolete. I would say that we have been, in the last 70 years, we have been thinking that humanity is positive, and that we have been always thinking as companies that whatever we generate and we create, it is intended for the good. And in the last years, we of course have observed the major problem that whatever we have done in the last 200 years of the Industrial Revolution is resulting in catastrophes like the climate change and more on short term, whatever the world of the digitalization has taken in terms of security problem, new criminality, and a new area of evil that we were not thinking when creating the new propositions and the new innovation. Today, I believe that the anthropocentric world is or should be under discussion because the arrogance of people that have placed themselves as number one in the system of the earth and the world is a failure. The ambitions to live to 120, 130 years is an incredible challenge to the ability of the world to be sustainable for a population that will increase in an uncontrolled way, making even more evident the differences between the poor and the rich, and the ability to develop the appropriate resources. In the spirit of the humanity seen from two perspectives or two faces like a coin, the humanity of the good and the humanity of the evil, I think that the humanity of the evil could develop a vision of the realization of a transformation of human into human in replications where actually our body will not be the body that we know today, but will be a body that will adapt to a system, a natural system that will not be able anymore to be sustainable for the human as they are. And this might create in the world differences between populations that have a very different way to think about human rights and what is right and what is wrong for humanity or for humans versus people that will think it in a different way. Currently, what actually is happening in Ukraine proves that indeed there are major differences of thinking between the West and the East. And so as soon as we transform humans in a way that is discussable about whether humans is still humans, we might enter in a complexity of societies that will be almost unmanageable. And this, I think, is a very important responsibility that is in science and can be managed only if science and design try to create ways to get much closer to politics and to the religions. Politics is the only one that can create a regulation of the development of technologies and the implementations of technology. However, the politics of the parties and the politics of the government is not capable to do this because people are in power for 4 years or 8 years. So they are very much short-term oriented and not very much interested in truly the long term. So the politics I'm talking about is at the level of United Nations, is at the level of European Community, is at the level of the politics that is looking toward a long-term future. And the religion, because the religion has a moral power, and only few weeks ago, I was thinking that the religion would have been much more united than the politics is. But in reality, when we see that the religion of the Orthodox in Russia is supporting the actions of Russia, and Pope Francisco is just saying a lot of words, but there are no real acts. There is also there a great divide, and the divide in spiritualism has proven to be, during the last 70 years, source of wars and many terrible things that have happened, that have been even more critical for the world than we have been always, let's say, thinking. And in reality now is that the world is getting, the war is getting close to the West and to Europe. Suddenly we get much more interested in and much more worry about it. So under these circumstances, and I don't want to be only pessimistic, but I think we need to go further into the mindset of working in a preventive way. So we have to invest more than we have ever done in thinking about what actually the solutions for the future are, but we don't have to stop there. So in the past, in all the industry I've worked and the industry I've been working with, collaborating, I've seen working towards a solution, and then at the solution, when the solution was defined, the exploration and evaluation work was almost ending. I truly believe that now we should, the work should not stop at the definition of the solution, but should further go into the development of dystopia scenarios to understand what actually can be the dark side of the solutions that have been thought. In the 90s, when actually we had internet, no one was really focusing on understanding what would have been happening in terms of challenge to privacy, in terms of cybercrime, in terms of problem of security, and so on. And I think that in current situation, the world doesn't have any more time to make mistakes, and it doesn't have the resources to fix it. I'm not saying that the work that we will do in the future can guarantee that there will be no mistakes. But I'm sure that we need to find a way to evaluate more what it might happen, and to start to think about what eventually strategies for risk mitigations are that could be taken in consideration when defining the new innovation or defining the new way, in order to, again, have a kind of risk management of the future, and investing more into preventive thinking will be certainly more affordable than fixing the problem when the problem are at the level of no return. So it might be an utopia, what I'm saying, and perhaps something that will be very difficult to realize. However, I'm running a program in collaboration with the University of Sapienza, which is a biodesign of the future, in which I'm experimenting this approach in order to find already ways in which it is possible to create this culture of thinking about future solution with technologies that are extremely interesting and fantastic, but of which we do not know enough already, and envisage scenarios of dystopias and develop strategies to minimize the risks of this direction. So basically, to repeat what I said, I believe that design has to further develop in the future in terms of maturity. It has to develop in a conscience of the industry, of the politics, of the society at large, to actually work for shaping a sustainability that is going to be a responsible sustainability, because the situations in which we are is dramatic, and I know that this has been said also 30 years ago, and it has been said several times when we have faced from the early 70s problems with pollutions and problems with the wars and so on. But now everything is truly in front of us, and this war is proving that a shift of investments is going to move from whatever was climate change actions for fixing some of the problems and reducing CO2 emissions and so on, will actually move to further invest in defense, because the current reality of the society is proving that indeed we are by far away from having a global village, a global society with a benign thinking, with the intent to create a kind of paradise regain where we can live on the earth in peace and collaborate and share our resources and make the good for all of us. So it is nowadays there is a clear proof that people are the strongest enemy of people.
Stefano,
Marco, can I just make a comment before?
I wanted to ask you, Filiberto, just if you could go back to the role of technology and digitalization after your comment.
No, I just want to make the comment, and I think it's very inspiring what Stefano is saying, because companies today do analysis and scenario or worst case scenarios, looking at the impact of society on their acceptance of their products and services. But they never do worst case scenarios of what is the impact of their products and services on the society.
Yes.
And I think that's the complemental view which we will need to take in consideration.
But what most important is that company does this evaluation of acceptance on the base that their proposition is a benign proposition, is a proposition that is intended for the good. They don't make any evaluation about what is the dystopia, how a world of criminals, how a world that doesn't have the benign intention to make an advance in the society, but has an intention to create a personal profit, a profit for a part of society, will actually manipulate and misuse what has been created. So in a sense, we have been thinking, and personally I did too, for more than 40 years or 50 years of work. I've been thinking in creating proposition for the good, with the intention to provide benefit to people, without considering how these benefits could have been misused. And when actually we have entered in the 90s in the digital transformation, and we have worked, and I've been also very much engaged in creating visions of uh, the new opportunities that digitalization would have created for people. I've been always thinking from a perspective of benign propositions, benign solutions, without thinking what actually this could give as a new element of power to the evil side of society. And I believe that today, if the industry, if politics, it doesn't actually adopt the understanding of this crude reality that people are good and bad, that evil is part of people, and that people are the most fair enemy of people. I've never seen animals making genocides. I've never seen animals be killer. Of course, they kill to eat, but they are not making mass kill. There is in nature a regulation that is not cultural. And we have developed ourselves in cultural creatures, and in culture, we developed the good and the evil. And in a sense, it is if we if we want to actually be capable to try to find back the way to create a sustainable life on this earth, where no one is going to be privileged more than others, where actually there is cooperation and so on. And of course, there will be criminality, but that there will be more opportunities to minimize the risk. I think we have to start to think in a different way. And by starting there where actually the industry has the ability to intervene first. So the industry should start to enter in this mindset of finding a new ideas, a new innovation, a new possible benefits, but don't stop there. Start to think what actually possible negative consequences are. There are some industries that are doing this. The pharmaceutical industry does it and so on. And it costs a lot. However, the investment is less expensive than the cost of fixing the problem. And politics need to get closer to the speed and acceleration of science. So there is absolutely the need of politics at a very high level to get closer to the understanding of the speed of development of science in order to start to think about regulatory actions before it's too late. currently, we have seen what also happened with digitalization, the politics and the regulatory measures have always been taken so late, too late. And we need truly an advance here. I don't have any idea whether as a society we will be ever capable to do it, to really think to a sustainable future with more preventive conscience and more preventive culture. But I hope that in one way or another, all the alarms that have been thrilling in these last years will actually bring us to a different thinking and to the understanding that is a reality in which we are, that proves that good and evil are on the same spot.
Thank you, Stefano. Marco, go ahead.
My question was, in this very complex scenario, you mentioned biosciences, you mentioned religion, you mentioned politics as the domains where the future design and the future design thinking will play or can play a role. But where can we look to see the seeds of the future of design? Should we look in fine arts? Should we look in some fields like artificial intelligence extensions that we debated a lot with Filiberto? If a student, if a scholar wanted to see the future of design and design thinking, where should she or he look?
Well, Marco, I like to think about design in terms of creation. In terms of creation from a base of culture, from a base of values, and creation with all the medias and the tools that can be available. So whatever is existing around us are enablers of our mind setting, culture, intent, vision. Therefore, I don't like to talk about design, and I don't like to talk about design thinking. Because the future of design thinking, what is the future of design thinking? Is a set of methods, is actions in a process, are 3M papers. That's not design. Design is assuming a responsibility. I mean, even politicians are designers. They use different tools. They use different enablers. But the one that shapes life, and is not only a designer, the one that does the sketches of a chair, of a vase, and so on, is a different level, the one that interests me. And of course, there are also the ones that do design the chairs, the vase, and so on. But there are people today that are designing living objects, are biological new objects that do not need to be assembled. They are born with all the functionalities in themselves. So I invited in the first opening of the Sapienza dialogue also the Vatican to participate, because it's a major challenge at the moment in which we can create life and we can basically move also to the creation of new humans. What is humanity? So I don't hear you.
You once wrote, design is an act of love. I think you wrote this statement at the end of the 1990s. Would you see this statement still be applicable to what design in your concept of life creation is, and what it will be?
I would say that design for some part of humanity is an act of love. For some part of humanity is an act of egoism. What I'm saying that I've been always excluding from my thinking the evil nature of people into the creation, into a vision for a future, into a vision for the development of civilization, into the vision of the development of a world where the idea of a regained paradise would have been possible. But the reality is telling us very different things. A large part of society doesn't listen. How many years have been spent by ecologists, by researchers to tell is going wrong. The climate is going wrong. At least 50 years, 60 years. And only a few years ago, just 1 year ago, 2 years ago, even Trump was saying bullshit. Mm. So, and how many wars have we seen? Because of religions, because of economy, and we have not actually, let's say, the West world was a bit looking on television, the war, because it was a bit far away, and always with the idea it doesn't belong to us, it's others. And then when the news are finished, then you move to the next movie or to the battery or to you know what. But the reality is different. When we walk in a city at night, we have to be scared of other people. Mm. When actually we are traveling in another country, we have to be scared of what actually can happen us there. Not because the animals or because of other people. I'm not losing confidence in people, but I'm losing patience. I'm not patient anymore. I think that there is the need to be more brutal in a sense in pushing toward taking actions to make sure that the benign view will prevail, and that the society will have to be able to invest in what actually is truly relevant to realize a vision, to advance civilization. And this beyond what actually can be the profit of the single company. Finally, Europe is proving that if they put the heads together, they can do much more. And if collaboration is not one of the key words of our society in the future, we will not win the challenges that we are facing. And the challenges that we are facing potentially are incredible. Think about creation of new organs, new lungs that will be implanted then in people or in new form of DNA, so that people will be able to breathe in an air that is not breathable anymore for people as we are now. Think about the creation of uh, replicants or robots that will actually be a new army.
Mhm.
And one side of the world will say, we don't want to have this. And the other side of the world will say, yes, we want. So there will be a world capable to breathe in an air that is super polluted and another world that will not. And this is people. This is people that has taken always the opportunity to gain power on others. Where is going to be the end?
Well, thank you for this outstanding vision of the future, where I think you managed to give a role to dystopia within a utopia. And I think this is perhaps the most fascinating concept in terms of anticipating the future of the concept of achieving a synthesis between utopia and dystopia. Filiberto, would you like to add a comment? I think Stefano touched upon digitalization, digital transformation, blurring lines all along the speech.
Yeah, no, and I think he made it very clear that, was the dream of ambient intelligence back beginning of 2000, which was a dream of improving our, the user's life, and also in a way moving technology and technological development from being a technological push to a consumer-centric pull in that sense. Unfortunately, that, as everything else, has a dark side, and I completely agree. Artificial intelligence could be used as a way to make economy more inclusive, but also as a way to manipulate people into believing, deep fakes, that something is happening which is not truly happening. And we could do, data. It's great to be harvested to help people and connect and find convenience, or to, abuse them and use that for an economic, let's say. And we have seen what has happened in politics with the harvesting of big data and extremization of people.
Polarization.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, I think it is true. I like, and I think I find it very inspiring, this notion of let's look at the real impact of what we're doing beyond, this benign prerogative that we've been guided or misguided by for the past, 40, 50 years.
I think, Stefano, perhaps a conclusion could be that as high design in the 1990s and in the 2000s connected humanities, social sciences, human sciences, people future to technology and technological and scientific possibilities. We need to find means to achieve a new synthesis and a larger synthesis beyond the people-centric, of course, beyond the customer-centric, towards life-centric, and towards a new role of what humans can do and will do, towards a new compass to orientate the role of humans.
What we did not put in the equation before, because the area that we were taking under our responsibility when working for a company were all the skills, disciplines outside of an organization. But when thinking as intellectual about about the future beyond the future of one organization or a company, and you enter more into the sharing some of the responsibility as a citizen on a society, then we have to start to think that all the powerful disciplines need to collaborate. And we have been always excluding, of course, politics. We have been excluding religions, but in reality, when we talk about the future is actually the concurrent cooperation or working of people, and we cannot think about one future. There are many concurrent futures that people and society prefer, and indeed, this is the very complex reality. Of course, for many people, might be in a sense a peace of mind to say, okay, let's talk about design thinking and where actually design thinking is going. A lot of people have been just living their success in the last few years, and they talked about organization and how the organization should implement design thinking. Companies are sending employee to make a course of design thinking, and this is really has reached the level of a decline. So it's like a society that is reaching the point of, and from now, catastrophe. So
right. Well, let's hope that by building utopias that include dystopia, we find new ways, and when you find new ways, you find new tools and new processes to achieve new results. That's
well, I
by collaboration.
I truly hope. The plan is that with this program of Sapienza is that we intend to come out to the results with this engagement of all different faculties of the Sapienza in working on utopias and dystopias, producing publications, and actually bringing this publication on the dialogue of the UN and the European community, not pretending to solve the problem, but trying to be a small, let's say, detonator that eventually can blow up something.
Yeah. So framing the problem is already addressing the problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Filiberto, do you have any comments, last words?
No, I was going to say the subject will make for a great book. So I'm very happy that there is going to be a publication behind it, because it's exactly what we need. You know,
yeah, I took a lot of notes myself that will be harvested in a Medium article about this conversation. I'm sure there will be great interest. Thank you, Stefano, for joining us today, and especially thank you for building high design, after inspiring high design, after opening new ways and new collaborations and new dialogues across industries and companies with Alessi, Swatch, with Electrolux later on. Thank you for bringing this contribution of thought leadership and definitely intellectual vision about what the future might hold and hopefully will hold for us in the sense of final positive development through negative instances. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Stefano. Thank you. It was very inspiring.
Bye-bye.